I'd like to call the meeting into order. I hope you're all doing well and your semester has not been too stressful so far. First of all, I would like to have the minutes from last meeting ratified by you guys. I believe that Ammon has already sent you guys the minutes from last meeting and also the link to the video recording of last meeting, and I believe that you've already seen that and read that by now. And if there's no objections or no suggestions for revision, I would like to bring it to a vote. All right, can I get a motion to have the minutes passed, ratified by you guys?
I motion it. John from Geography.
John from Geography, thank you, John. Can I get a second?
Kayla from Student Affairs, second motion.
Thank you, Kaylor. Any objections? Seeing none, the minutes has been ratified as written. Next, I have several pieces of news to share with you guys. First of all, I guess some of you have already heard about it. A couple of weeks ago, the university has announced their decision of the increase of stipend for the new PhD students. It is a mixed blessing, I would say, because they had they made it specific that the new students refers to the students that are enrolling next year, 2016 to 2017. That means none of us here gets the increase of the stipend. Susan Straub, Dean of the Graduate School, announced this news a couple of weeks ago at the Graduate Council, and I went to talk to her after the meeting. I have been informed by her that the funding which allowed this increase of stipend is actually from the roadmap. Binghamton University roadmap. If you have not already heard about it, the roadmap is BU's strategic plan for the development of this university. And this increase in stipend comes as a result of one of the proposals passed or proven on the third run of this roadmap. If you're interested, we will be sending out the specific number of the increase for the new students. Also, I went ahead and did some research online. Hold on, let me pull this out. For the third round of a roadmap, they have proved a total of $3.53 million for new projects for next year, and 540,000 goes to the stipend increase for the new doctoral students. For the specific number of the increase, science and engineering stipend will be offered at 23,000. Mathematical sciences stipends 22,000. So social science stipends 17,000. Management stipends 18,500. Humanities stipends 17,000. Nursing stipends 16,500. I personally really think it's not fair for the current students. I personally think that it shows that this university does not really care about the students, and their priority is getting more students. I don't know what's your take on this. We've met, Ben and I have met with Manazar, president of GSU yesterday. We talked about this issue, and I believe Ben also has brought it up to the first meeting of the Committee of Employment and Labor yesterday, and they had a discussion about it. He would fill you in later in his report. I just want to bring it to your attention, and if you want to take like further actions about it, I'm totally on board with it. All right, so moving on to you were discussing on your
What does further action mean? How would we take further action?
well, I mean,
We told it by part.
Are there
yeah, we will discuss it when Dan is giving his report. Okay, let me move on to my next agenda. Okay, so next, I believe that you've already participated in the survey of, the Senate responsibilities, and also the survey on the proposed Senate meeting procedures. Anna, do we have the result
Yeah.
for the poll?
Yeah.
Would you like to present it?
Okay. But actually, I didn't get reply from everybody. So I sent out a mail to 34 senators. That is according to the officers list which we had. All the departments are not submitted the officers list, so we just went ahead with the number of departments which we had. So the mail went out to 34 people. 15 people just replied, and 19 people are still to be still have not replied to it. 14 people have approved with it, and just one person, that's Dave from Geology. He specifies the reason it's still uncertain about meetings and procedure, as I have only been for one meeting thus far. That's it.
Can you maybe go over what this document was for the people that didn't respond? That are sitting here?
Well, this
I'd send a document in the mail. I'd send both the documents for them to wrap up.
this proposed Senate meeting procedure is basically a revised version of Robert's Rules of Order, which, according to GSO's constitution and bylaws, should be the order that we follow for GSO Senate meetings. However, there has been complaints that in previous years that it is too complicated and a little bit outdated. So last year, Addison had proposed a revised version which is simpler and more time efficient. And this year we are having the same meeting procedures, the same revised version of Robert's Rules of Order proposed to you guys, and we hope that you will have it ratified. It'll really make the procedure easier for all of us. actually
Yesterday.
yesterday.
But the lists of the senators weren't due until today, right?
Sorry?
The lists of the senators weren't due until today.
Yeah.
And so the polls will be sent out to people who covers the
Yeah, it went out to all those officers who have like submitted their names and contact information. Like we still have a few departments missing.
Can we just extend the deadline for the survey by a week or something for the hearing to be able to participate?
That sounds like a good idea. Can I get a motion? Oh, can I get a second?
Second to,
Can I get a second?
Second, I haven't been receiving any emails,
yeah.
so I don't know how I can do it.
So when do we want to postpone the deadline?
Like, did you register?
Next
Like,
time?
the main week as before.
Next Wednesday.
Next
Or,
Wednesday?
like, I sent it today and you
Can I
gave
have a
the
second
department this
for next Wednesday
You from SSI.
as a deadline?
So I
Joshua
got the
Lindemann,
officer list
English.
like 3 days before. That's
Joshua
the reason.
from English. Okay, is there any objections? Okay, seeing none.
Can we get your name? And
My name is Daniel from psychology.
Daniel from psychology. Okay, so say something real quick. Sure.
Just if you haven't been getting emails and you did submit an officer's form, you could always just send an email to Anand, which is just a GSO office,
Officer, pick up the
and just
message.
say, please confirm that you have my email correctly, because sometimes when people write in the officer list, sometimes it's hard to read handwriting. So just confirm with him that,
The only reason why y'all are not getting mails, like what I can say, is just because your officers list came a bit late than the day I sent the mail. That's the only reason. And it's actually both the documents are on the website. After this meeting today night, I'll send out a mail which gives you a link to both the documents and the poll too. So if you all want, we can extend the poll till some date, or we can just go ahead with the motion today.
Alright, so the motion has been approved. Next, I would like to go through very briefly of the senator responsibilities. Basically, the Senate may not miss more than 3 meetings. If you do, you will not be able to, your department will not be able to get funding this year. And also, in cases that you cannot make it or your alternative cannot make it to the meeting, you can always send a proxy to the meeting. And also, senators are required to participate in at least one committee. You can participate in GSO committees, or you can participate on committees on the campus level as a GSO representative. Some of you have already emailed me, and I've already signed you up for the committees you will be serving as a representative. Some of you haven't. I would like to urge you to go ahead and choose the committees that are still open for students, graduate students representatives. They are as follows. First one is graduate council. They need 4 representatives. 2 of the seats have already been filled, and they need 2 more from professional schools. That means Watson, Decker, CCPA, and SOM. The second and third committees would be subcommittees from the faculty senate. They are convocation committees chaired by Benjamin Andrews from the library, and also the intercollegiate athletic committee chaired by Michael Lewis. They would prefer a TA for this position, but if you are like super interested in it and you are not a TA so far, they would also, you can also go attend this, take this position. And next one would be student engagement committee of the Alumni Association, and the person in charge will be Courtney Hoff. If you're interested, send an email to me, or or if you need further information, feel free to contact me. I believe you all have my email address.
What's your email address?
It's GSO Press, PRES at binghamton.edu. And so, as you know, we are still updating the list of the GSO committee members and GSO reps on the committees of a campus level. Once this is done, we will share with you the list of all these committees and the representatives on our website. And next on our agenda is that we've been in contact with Center for Learning and Teaching, and they offer workshops, and also they offer individual tutoring for any teaching related issues. They are a great resource for anyone who is teaching currently or who is interested in teaching in the future. In the past couple of years, their programs have helped a lot of faculty members and some graduate students, especially TAs. And this year, they reached out to us, hoping more graduate students will be benefited from their service. But they need, suggestions and feedbacks from you guys as for which area or what kind of content you would need as a graduate students the most. And next we have James, who is James Pedarasi. Sorry.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Pedarasi. He's the executive director of CLT, and also we have Eric Hout, director of instructional design. They are both here to give a short presentation about the programs they are offering for us. James and Eric, if you're ready, you can have the floor.
Great. And can we just stand right here? Is this okay? Of course, I'm talking right into your ear there, so I apologize. Yeah, so hi everybody. I'm James Pedaresi, and I'm the Associate Vice Provost here for Student and Faculty Development, and I also head up the Center for Learning and Teaching. And with me is Eric Mann-Howe, and he'll talk in a few minutes as well. I've been told we only have 10 minutes, so I will try to be very, very quick. I had about 60 PowerPoint slides to present, and all, no, we're not going to do that. So real quick here, a couple of things. Boy, I heard about some great committees, and just my 2 cents on that. The Graduate Council is a very influential committee, so I strongly, the alumni one sounded great. That's a fabulous way to network with Binghamton grads who are out there in the field. So those are great committees to get involved in. The roadmap, you've heard that mentioned. So the enhanced CLT, the CLT existed here for many years, struggled with a lot of issues. As part of the roadmap, the provost said, look, we've got to do something about quality teaching on this campus. We want to revamp the CLT. We want to add a lot of things. We'll talk very briefly about it. I wanted you to know this comes from the strategic planning of the campus. There are 5 priorities, and one of them is this sort of transformative learning environment. How many of you are teachers right now, teaching classes? Quite a few. All right, fabulous. One of the things I did, so I've been on campus almost 28 years, and I hold the rank of distinguished teaching professor, and I'm also now a full-time administrator, so I switched over to the dark side. So I used to be a department chair for many years, but now I'm one of the bad guys. I'm an administrator. But anyways, don't hold that against me. So one of the things that I did when I took over the CLT is I changed our mission. And our mission was, faculty helping faculty. Great. All you guys that are teaching, get out. You're not faculty. See, that's nonsense. That's not right. Anybody who's in front of Binghamton students teaching, I don't care if you're in a lab course or you're an instructor of record or whatever it is, you deserve the support of the Center for Learning and Teaching. So I want to make that clear. We're here to help anybody who's involved in teaching. You might be teaching now. You might be thinking of a career in teaching and want to develop some expertise. That's in my view, that's part of my job. So last year we reached out to Allison and started getting things rolling. I want to keep that going. So what do we have to support you with? Eric can talk a little bit more in detail, but we have instructional design support. Now, as a distinguished teaching professor, I didn't need an instructional designer. I know how to teach. Well, when we brought Eric on board and his team, I realized that there's a lot that I didn't understand about teaching. So it's been a great experience to have the insight of experts who really study pedagogy and educational technology and can provide incredible feedback. So number one, that's fabulous. Also, we run all kinds of workshops. So we're going to run the online workshop in the spring. So we're going to run an intensive online workshop. And last year we ran this. The provost said, look, we want to run 75 instructors through it, 50 graduate students and 25 faculty. There's a little stipend. It's like a couple $100, so don't get excited, right? But there's a little bit of money. You're going to work your butt off. You're going to work with the instructional designers. We're there to help. And the provost said, we want to do it again this year. So this spring we're going to do that, and I'm going to turn to you and your leadership to help me identify 50 graduate students who can get involved in that. And the whole idea is to get you up to speed with online teaching so that you can really develop a quality, Binghamton quality online course. Now, I can also help with technology. Now, with regular faculty, I can do a little bit more, but for instance, if you're teaching an online course and you need an iPad or something like that, we'll get you an iPad. You can't keep it. You know, when you're done at the end of the semester, you got to give it back, but we'll be able to get you a piece of technology if that's what you need. I can't say yes to everything, but I want the option to say I can't help you. I don't want you to, oh, James and Eric, they're not going to help me. I'm not even going to ask. No, come and ask. Give me the option to say I can't help, but that also gives me the option to say, yeah, I can help you with that. So those are the two main things I just wanted to get out to you. The Center for Learning and Teaching is hidden on this campus. So if you can find us, that's great. There is no sign on how to get there. I'm working on that. So but we are located at the Library North, at the far end of this building, on the other side of the Newcomb Reading Room. So if you're walking down the Lois B. DeFleur walkway and you're looking at the John Arthur Cafe, turn around and look this way and you're looking at the CLT. The last thing is, do you guys know you're teaching for spring? Does anybody know what they're teaching for the spring? Okay, so we've developed a classroom laboratory called the Learning Studio. And every semester we run 14 courses in the Learning Studio. So it's full of interesting technology. It seats 28 students. I happen to be teaching in there right now. It's a lot of fun. And I would be very interested in having a graduate student or two teaching in the spring in there. I'd like to get your feedback on the technology and such in there. So if you're interested in that, Eric will tell you how to get in touch with us. But that's my pitch. I've used up probably all the 10 minutes. I'll now let Eric talk about all the wonderful things he can do. Then we'll answer some questions, steal some pizza, and get out. Yeah. All right, Eric.
So I want to give you an idea of what instructional design is, because it's a term and a career that some people don't know what we do. People think we're going to get up in front of people and make something, and that's not really what we do. We're here to help you with any problems you may have with teaching. So if you have a challenge in the classroom, you can come to us and talk about it, and we can give you some ideas to kind of help alleviate those challenges. If you are interested in a piece of technology, you have other colleagues or you're talking among yourselves and you find a really interesting piece of technology with you, a piece of software, we can help you with that. We can do some research into the impact of that on teaching and learning. We can help you implement it into your courses as well. And we do all kinds of other stuff as well. Even if you just want to talk about teaching, we're there for you. Something we do is we have, I counted, we have about maybe 14 events that we've done this semester so far. And something we talked about at lunch the other day with your leadership is having another communication channel through you. Because we advertise through an email list that we have. It's called the CLT TAIL, Teaching and Learning Exchange. And then we also send stuff out on Dateline. And I'm not sure how many of you subscribe to Dateline, but you probably don't get our announcements about our events. So we want to communicate with you guys and let you know what's coming up. We do ask you to register for these events because a lot of times we do provide lunches for them. So I have a handout of the events. I know there's not going to be enough for everybody, but I have a handout for all the other events we're going to be doing this semester. And then, of course, we'll be doing lots in the spring as well, in addition to the Teaching Online certification program that James talked about. If you want, I also have my business card. You can contact me. You can also contact the CLT through clt@binghamton.edu, and somebody will check. You can stop by if you want to make an appointment with us for a consultation. That's even better because we tend to be out and about. But stop on by, see our learning studio. And then lastly, I wanted to just ask you guys what other kinds of events or what kind of relationship or collaboration would you like to see with the CLT from your perspectives?
No, he's asking right now. You got to answer.
I mean, I know just because I've had a little interaction with my housemates that some departments have classes that graduates would be required to do in pedagogy for that discipline. I'm in political science, sadly, don't have that. But the assumption is that we're all going to go on to tenure-track jobs where we're going to be teaching into a fundamental requirement. So, like, stupid things, like I got thrown in my first semester with 60 students, and I just sort of went, gosh, I hope they like me.
Yeah.
But I had no idea what I was doing. I kind of had to learn off my toes. So some like a crash course in how to be a TA would be awesome.
Yeah, and we have done that for other departments, and it's something that that's on my list to do for you guys as well, is offer that kind of crash course. Because I was in the graduate program here in English back in the early 90s, and I can attest to being handed the syllabus when the class starts tomorrow. Have fun. What do I do? So yes, that is one great idea to kind of get the collaboration going. What else?
Workshop on how to get a job.
Yeah. Well, actually, let me talk about that from another perspective, because we mentioned this at lunch the other day too. How many of you? Here's a poll question. How many of you have an online teaching portfolio website? Okay. This is something that we could possibly do. We talked about maybe having a session in the evening for this semester, where I could lead you through e-portfolios as a particular passion of mine and an expertise of mine, and teaching portfolios fit into that. So what goes into a teaching portfolio? What do you put into it? How do you represent yourself so that when you do go out for jobs, you can show that teaching portfolio and have all kinds of evidence of you're looking into the art of teaching. So that's one area that we can go into in terms of professional development.
Did you say you have any events for that, or you can schedule one?
We could do something. We could do something this semester. We don't have any scheduled yet, but it's something that I could make time to do for you. We have the Fleischman Center as well, the Career Center as well, and they're a really good resource for helping out with that. They don't do too much with e-portfolios, but although I've talked with their director about it, so she kind of knows that that's something that we do.
Also, that goes with what she was saying, like do's and don'ts, because we all know teachers, obviously we're studying, so we see them, but like from a student point of view, and like being on the other side is not easy, because like we all say that, oh, I hate this teacher, it's boring, it's whatever, but like it doesn't mean that we can be not boring, like we're probably gonna do the same mistakes, but if you have like some tips or, you know, like because we're thrown like, oh yeah, teach that course, like it's fine, you go to class, you know how to be a teacher, which is definitely not true. And so maybe like the few like, yeah, how to start, like the starting package, you're not gonna be a teacher in 2 days, but maybe like with that you can actually breathe and do something okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And to let you know, we love the face-to-face. I personally believe that you need the face-to-face. We are also developing some online materials as well that one could go through self-paced. So those resources, again, could be something along those lines that we develop for you, and then maybe have an hour or two that we can kind of debrief and talk about them after you've gone through them.
And also I have something else, like we're still pretty young, and teaching to someone that's our age pretty much is hard, so I don't know if you can do something about that. Obviously, we're not gonna grow older, right? But maybe like how to interact with people our age, because it's different when you're a certain age and you have to deal with younger people. They automatically respect you and listen to you, but like when you're the same age and you say something like, "Hey, what do you know?" Like you're a student still. It's like, yeah, well, it's kind of my job still, so if you could actually listen to me, that'd be great.
Sure.
But I don't know if you have like ideas or.
Yeah, well, definitely, we can share those ideas as well. You know, one other idea is that if you do have these types of questions and you send them to us, we can work on providing some resources and responses to those online so that you can kind of have answers to them as well. But yeah, there's all kinds of ideas. I don't want to take up a lot of meeting time, but if you make a consultation, we can talk about that. Yeah.
It might be helpful to have something on how to deal with difficult, like faculty bosses.
Oh.
And how like that changes every semester too, like your boss's expectations are constantly changing and.
And let me just say, as a former department chair, it's just as tough on this side dealing with, my colleagues who are faculty. So, we got to realize, unfortunately, and I am a faculty member, that really faculty members are a bunch of independent contractors, and to some extent, they're all over the place. But your point, the ability to kind of understand what's reasonable and develop a communication stream that's respectful and has clear expectations on both sides. And that will pay benefits in the rest of your career. That clear communication stream and kind of getting it up front as to what's expected, and then a little bit of conflict resolution for when things don't go so smoothly. So, and as Eric pointed out, we don't want to, believe me, we could pontificate for the whole time. We're happy to come back. What I do want to do, and I feel it starting already, is we're trying to build a sense of community here. For the 26 years I was on campus, there was graduate students over there, faculty over here, people just doing whatever. I want to change that. I want to try to build a communication stream, a sense of community, where, we were all graduate students. How can we help? How can we help each other? You mentioned, you're about the age of your students. I'm much older than my students. I've lost touch. I need help. I'm at the other end of that spectrum. So I think there's a lot we can do to help each other. We can come here and give workshops. You can come to our place, or we can find a bigger venue. We're interested in finding out what you need to be successful. And if the CLT isn't the place to provide it, we'll try to figure out who is. Might be the Career Center, might be someplace else. But I want you to know, on behalf of myself and on Provost Neiman, we're absolutely committed to making you guys as successful as we can. You're going to get out there wearing the Binghamton colors for the rest of your career. And we want folks to say, wow, these folks are good, they're well trained, they know their stuff. We know from creative services and scholarship and research, we're fine. We also want to make you, for those that are interested, help you become really excellent teachers. So that's kind of where we're at. And there was a question, yes?
I was wondering if these services are also available during sessions?
Yeah, we're here all year. One of the advantages of converting over to an administration is I'm now paid for 12 months instead of 9 months. So that's right. If you don't know that, when you're a faculty member, you're paid for 9 months. Just letting you know that. So now I get paid for the whole year. And remember, as a faculty member, you work the whole year, but somehow you don't get paid for those 3 months.
They don't get a paycheck in summer.
No, okay, here's the trick. All right, now we're getting into it. So what the state does is they take your 9-month salary and spread it out over 12 months. So the state makes about $1 million a month on interest because they're not paying all those faculty through the whole system over the 9 months. So they're actually holding on to that money. So the good news is, I get it when I was a faculty member, I still am. When I was a 9-month faculty member, I would get the same paycheck every 2 weeks, year round, right? Instead of a big paycheck for 9 months and 0. It also means I can't collect unemployment because I'm under contract. But yeah, that's the way it works. So faculty are we're not paid over the summer. That's why most of them disappear. But you guys are around because you're trying to get out of here. Actually, you're trying to graduate. So, and hopefully we can help you get out of here. Yes, sir.
I was gonna say we're here because we don't get a paycheck in the summer either.
Bingo. And one of the things we can do is help you, for instance, with teaching and so forth, so you can propose ideas for winter and summer session, pick up a little extra money. It's not much, but it's an opportunity for you to develop your skills, develop your portfolio, and make a little bit of extra money. And so for those of you going into the teaching profession, the more experience you can get, the better. Any other last questions? Yes, sir.
Yes, about the teaching online certification
Yes.
during the spring, is it offered as a course for course credit?
No, we're just going to give you cash.
Okay.
How much cash?
No, it's a couple $100. What is it, $300?
It was 500 last year.
What's the
Yeah,
workload
I think
like?
it might have
500 this
been
year.
cut. It might be 400. Yeah, it's not much. But you're going to work. Believe me, when you sort of work out the hours you've got to put in, you're going to be like, damn, I'm working for less than minimum wage.
What's the course structure?
I'm sorry.
What's the course structure?
So it's typically you're in charge.
So we begin it by talking about
So they're going to do Blackboard.
the pedagogy. You have Blackboard, you'll learn Blackboard.
So you do a day of
So you get an immersive look into Blackboard. You'll get another full-day workshop on pedagogy, what it means to learn online, different ideas about how to facilitate it. And we also give basics of developing learning objectives, developing your syllabus, aligning learning objectives to your assessments, and all that other stuff. And then it's a lot of work where you build your course and consult with us. And then finally, there's a community of practice where we all get back together again for a couple of hours and talk about what were the wins, what were the difficulties, what were the challenges, and talk about what happens when your course goes live.
So really, it's like 2.5 days of workshop and then months of you building the course on your own. But we have 3 full-time instructional designers. You set up meetings with Eric and his team. You know, here's how things are going, so on and so forth. So no one's going to get rich doing the training, but it's a way of showing some respect. We're asking you to put some time in. We're asking you to be serious about it. You know, here's some cash. Not much. Yes?
And so can you do this for a course that you're going to be teaching or you have taught?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it might be a course you've never taught before. It might be a course you've taught a couple of times and you really want to just improve it. You know, the priority will be for those people that are like, hey James, I got to teach this summer, this online course. I need to do this. So that's first priority. Next priority would be, I'm pretty sure I'm going to teach it, or blah, blah, blah. And the lowest priority would be, yeah, I'm not scheduled to teach. I'd like to do it if there's room. And so that's how we'll sort of do triage on the folks. And we'll work with your leadership to identify who should come in. I mean, look, I'd love for the demand to be so great that I go back to Provost Neiman and say, look, we've hit a nerve here. There's a demand for this. We know we're giving a good workshop. Let's get some extra resources and, try to get 100 graduate students in on this. So, believe me, we want to help you with this. I remember being given a syllabus and saying, go teach. And it's challenging. It's scary at times. Was there another question in the back? You good?
I just wanted to know, this last year they ran to teach an online course you have to be certified or something? At least, I don't know, that's in our...
There are 2 things going on. So one is if you're in Harper requires you to do this sort of online certification thing. Shannon would offer that. She's moved on. She's a faculty member now. And so Harper came to us, Harper Dean's office came to us and said, can you guys do this? We said, yeah, we'll do it in the spring. And they said, no, you got to do something right away. So this year only, we're going to take their course and we're going to just do their thing for them to help them out. But in the future, we're going to be responsible for that.
So you're running both?
For this year only, we're doing both. And we're going to run the Harper one. We're going to do it for them as a favor. But in the future, that's going away and everything will be through us. And what I hope is that I can establish a funding stream so that you'll get the $500 and you'll get certified. We'll put a tattoo on your forehead, and then we'll know, and then off you go, and you're set. Yeah, boy, I mean, we're like way past 10 minutes here. Wow. So it's way time to get us out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Invite us back. invite us back, we'd be happy to come,
Don't
and we'll be
forget
in
to
touch.
grab a pizza.
No, I'm good, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, see you later.
Hi. I would like you guys to. If you have further questions or suggestions for job to CLT, feel free to contact me or contact Eric and James directly. And meanwhile, we encourage you to go back to your departments to spread the word of CLT so that your classmates would all be more, hopefully more of your classmates will be benefited from their wonderful resources. The last thing on my agenda, I'll go through it very fast, is internship for graduate students. I went to the Career Center to meet with Bill McCarthy on Friday. Last Friday, and he would like to work with the GSO to help graduate students to get more internship opportunities. He has just been assigned by the center, the Career Center, to work with the graduate students. So he's still trying to figure out what would be our needs. So like Eric and James, he needs suggestions, ideas, and feedback from us. So if you have any suggestions, ideas, feel free to contact me. And I think it'll be a wonderful thing for the graduate students, because we all want to get a job after this, and the best way to get experience for jobs or would be getting internships. And maybe some internship would, develop into an actual job, right? That's so much for my report, and I would like to move on to Vice President Dan Molly.
Okay, thanks, Jen. All right, I will as well try to be brief. So, as per request, Anand sent out the Constitution and Bylaws, the current one, and also the proposed one that was proposed last spring. That is the Constitution, Bylaws, and Internal Financial Controls. And we asked you to look over those, review those. As per request of last year's Senate, we recommended that this year's Senate put up to vote, potentially put up to vote to the general body to be voted on. I've invited last year's Vice President Ruxar, who played a fundamental role in this with the CBC committee to carry this out, or who played a role in this. She can give, we can do kind of a Q&A session if people have questions on some of the differences between them. So what we're going to do here, or my suggestion here, is to maybe go through some of the differences, and we won't do any vote or anything like that, but we want you, we'll probably, maybe make a motion to put up for a vote for the next meeting, not this meeting, but for senators to put up whether to recommend it for the general body to be voted on. Okay, so after we go through this and you go back to your departments, talk it over with people in your department whether you want to put this up for a vote or not to the general body. Whether you want to put up the new Constitution, Bylaws, and Internal Financial Controls. All right. So the current Constitution has the Constitution itself and the bylaws. The new one that was proposed has 3 documents: the Constitution, the bylaws, and the Internal Financial Control. What the Internal Financial Control does is it elaborates on the details of the GSO's financial procedures and funds. It has the breakdown of the stipends that are currently listed in the bylaws, and some of the procedural things. So some aspects of the current Constitution have been moved to Internal Financial Control, and some of the other bylaws have been moved to the Internal Financial Control. So what you have seen is that most of the documents, the Constitution and the bylaws, are less pages. All right. Let's see. Rockstar, do you want to jump in or explain maybe some of the differences, the major differences?
Sure, thank you so much, Ben, for having me. And so I'll give you a very general and brief description without going into too much detail. And if you have questions, I can help in answering those on more details. But very generally, if we look at the difference between both documents, there is a difference in the structure of the graduate student organization. So evolving over time, we have the president, vice president, treasurer, and vice president of multicultural affairs. So this was a very hierarchical structure. Even in division of duties, there was imbalance. Some of the positions had an overload of duties, and so what the new constitution does is to change from this hierarchy to bring an egalitarian team structure, which is now what the GSO is, but through the language itself. So instead of president, vice president, treasurer, multicultural vice president, the change is in terminology. You see the change of the roles of the leading members in the team are the executive team leader, student affairs team leader, and you have the social team leader, cultural team leader, judicial team leader. So that those five positions are elected by the graduate student body, and then the three positions similar to now are hired by the team leader. So you have the financial team leader, and you have the voting and elections team leader, and you also have the office team leader. So these three are hired by the elected team. And so this team structure through the terminology, I think it reinforces the concept that the GSO is run in an egalitarian fashion, that the relationships are balanced in leading the team. And each position, if you see in the new constitution, has kind of modified roles and responsibilities. So about four to five, except for the treasurer, the financial team leader having more responsibilities, but there are five being for the leading team members, and it basically consolidates the jobs they are doing within their position. So with the student affairs team leader, that person is going to be concentrating on connecting with the campus, the Center for Civic Engagement, and very much campus engagement, and the CCPD, Center for Career and Professional Development for graduate students, career and their civic engagement. So it's very specialized. Each role is specialized in that sense. And the duties then are distributed because last year the vice president had three, kind of an enormous task of combining the duties of the attendance at meetings, taking the minutes at meetings, being involved in chairing three or four committees. And so this was really inefficient, and it resulted in a lot of imbalance. And so kind of this new division helps to kind of contain those duties, but helps to spread them out. So then the office team leader focuses on the minutes, and the student affairs team leader focuses on the agenda, and the social team leader focuses on interacting with all of you for attendance. So it's spread now over the position, so it doesn't fall on one person. So in that sense, it brings balance. The other main change is we see kind of, I think it is the number of quorum, the 2/3 of attendance being able to vote on matters. And it's changed from 1/3, what used to be in the previous constitution, so that ensures more of a majority, a consensus of reaching decisions. So mainly that in the core of it is the main change between both documents. The other change is one in language and writing. Just simply, if you've read the old constitution, you must be bogged down with details and traditional language, but the new one simplifies. With the CVC committee worked very hard with the executive board last year, and they simplified, they got rid of excess details, and they stayed to the point in outlining the mission of the GSO, the purpose, the duties, responsibilities, how meetings are run, and how votes are conducted in affecting for graduate students. So that outlines very clearly within the differences between the Constitution. Bylaws are very similar. There is no major change between the current bylaws and the new ones. Basically, they are transferred. It's just language change. Also, the terminology senator is removed, and instead they have departmental representative, which I think removes the political aspect and gives more of that sense of unity and representation of departments in GSO. So that, and then as Ben was explaining, the difference, all the financial information, to be clear, is outlined in the internal financial control and specifies all the details. And it's also not a major change. It carries the same financial information that you'll see in the current Constitution and bylaws. But it specifies very clearly, it's a sole document, solely attributing to the finances of the GSO. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
What sorts of specific questions do you have in terms of differences or where we want to go forward with this? Yeah. Can you name and department?
Brendan from Computer Science. Who's in charge in the new Constitution?
So the executive team leader, similar to the president, would be the liaison between the administration and graduate students. So if you look at it in a sense, the whole team is in charge, but depending on the situation, the focal point is considered as the executive team leader. And then in other instances, the student affairs team leader, if it has to do with campus services, they focus on campus services, and finance, the financial team leader, events, social concerns. So depending on the context you're asking, it's the focal points within that team are in charge of those particular areas. But if you're looking for one go-to person, the executive team leader.
Yeah.
Kyle from Biomedical Engineering. It sounds like the distribution of duties between the people who run the GSO is the issue. It seems a little confusing, I guess, to rename all of the executive positions when distribution of duties seems like the core issue. I wonder if you could address that.
Well, so the renaming is not only the distribution of duties, it's also the meanings that these names prefer to represent. So president, vice president of cultural affairs, and treasurer have a very hierarchical meaning with them. And so the change to incorporating team leader brings in a sense of leadership within the team setting and more of a collaborative relationship. So it's more to reinforce a sense of unity rather than one person on top of three others or a distance between people. So it reinforces collaboration and more of a sense of an equal dealing with each role. So it's the team in relationships, it's an equal expression of treatment towards each person in the team.
Okay.
So it's the symbol also the meaning behind the names.
Is that reflective of the trend of the GSO over the last couple of years? Is hierarchy something we're trying to get away from? I mean, systems like this, they are inherently hierarchical. People do have different duties.
Right, it's in a sense, I mean, but it's aligned now with the shift in our society. So this, now as an organization, many organizations and companies, nonprofits, and institutions, as you see, are revolving around teams. We see co-leadership, we see team leadership in several settings. So this is mirroring a shift in our society to this transition because in cases of hierarchy, you may see an overshadowing because with one person in charge, the other voices are stifled and they are overshadowed. So this brings out what each position, each person has to offer by recognizing their